Hello and welcome, here we are again for another edition of the Eternal Journey, and this time we're bringing Wisp if you got them. So Wisps are now like a supported tribe, it's like a Wisp Radiant thing, and as soon as I saw the Soulbringer previewed I knew this is the sort of card I want to play with because this is reasonably started body, but what we're really here for is it's got relevant tribe type here, the Radiant, and it has Summon, play a Wisp from your Void. And that's already good, it's like a 2-for-1, so we get 2 bodies of 1 card. And it's got a tribute effect as well, which means if something died this turn, you have to play 2 Wisp from your Void instead. When this card was spoiled, it was actually spoiled with the Magenta Wisp, which has got the pay 1 to sacrifice Magenta Wisp to kill an enemy unit with 3 power or less. That's basically suffocate on a stick. But this allows you just to have a cheap tribute effect, which is going to allow you to trigger those tributes and really be able to get in there, just get supreme value, and it's as if it never even left the battlefield. So there is another tribute card in the deck as well, because we've actually got the Pathlighter, which is just a 1-1 for 1 with Deadly, but it could also be a 3-3 for 1, which is pretty exciting. But it says Infiltrate, reduce the cost of each Radiant in your hand by 1. We do, I believe, only have the actual Soulbringer as a Radiant, but getting this down for 1 cheaper is actually quite relevant because it means that you're actually able to trigger that tribute effect a lot more easily because you do have spells like Devour and Twilight Hunt or Xenan Initiation just to be able to trade a unit in and then be able to get back with some value. And if you get something back with the killer already on it, then that's pretty nice. I've actually been a pretty big fan of when I was playing around with this deck at first, just putting Xenan Initiation on Ephemeral Wisp, just like letting it die and getting like whatever trigger from Xenan Cultist, and then just keep getting it back every turn, and it seems a lot more exciting than actually Killer Dawnwalkers, just because when it enters play it's not exhausted, so that's pretty nice. I do have another spicy meatball here, which is the Void Drummer, and we are pretty good at being able to like clog up the board with a load of like idiot units like the Ephemeral Wisp. So the unblockable is nice because not only is it putting like a bit of a clock on the opponent, not a great one admittedly because it is just 2 power, but when Void Drummer attacks, units in your Void get +2/+2. But we do have ways of bringing them back because we've got the Memory Dredger, the Soulbringer over here, we've also got Dark Return, and I guess the Ephemeral Wisp, when that's in the Void, just getting +2/+2 is super nice because then we're just going to eventually just be able to grind our opponents out with this unkillable threat. But this deck's pretty sweet. Not got a market for it quite yet, but I will be quite interested. I'm not sure which one I'd want. I think perhaps the Shadow one, just because that's got Death Touch, and that's just going to really lend into this theme here where we're just going to be clogging up the board and just getting our opponent dead. So let's get onto the ladder and see what this deck can do. Okay, and this hand is a little bit on the slow side because of all the crests, but I do actually quite like it because we've got a lot of the early grindy game that we actually want. I think I might actually spend a Crest Mystery here just to try and find, well, Xenan Cultist we're keeping, because that's like one of the engine pieces that's going to help us to get out Ephemeral Wisp just to be a ridiculous size. I mean, I was against Argent Heart here, so we've got time, and cards like the Ephemeral Wisp are going to be quite good, I hope. As well as if our opponent does take to the sky, if it's not with the Inquisitor's Blade, then Magenta Wisp can kill a good amount of that. Xenan Initiation is good as well. So, get Xenan Crest, basically just use it as whatever depleted power anyway. I just feel like I'll lose a little bit of value when I do it that way, but let's get the Nocturnal Creeper down. More Creepers? Probably not. Just try and find actual power here. And of course, I was playing this anyway, regardless of what I'd scouted. Okay, so we're playing against Paladins. I'm not sure what support they've actually got. There's the really big expensive one. But I suppose we'll just Magenta Wisp, just get rid of this because this can do nonsense things. And the nonsense is for me to do, not my opponent. Yeah, I'm a little bit less concerned about skies though. If our opponent is playing Paladins, then a lot of Paladins are actually ground units. I'm sure Black Force is good here. Might as Magenta Wisp it again though. This does get a little bit blown out if our opponent's got Finest Hour, but other than that, I'd much rather. I prefer when our opponent uses like offensive combat tricks like in a defensive way. So if they do something like a rapid shot just to be able to trade on a block, that's usually pretty great for you. And well, I'd like to get those Xenan Cultists going, but so which one do I play? I can play the Cultist here, but it's not going to do too much. There's not too many things in the yard, although I suppose I'll just get the Void Drummer going. You can kill this at a later time. If my opponent just want to put a huge weapon on it to make it be like a huge lifesteal, that's fine, because on our turn just be able to banish it away and keep getting in there, making our graveyard a little bit bigger. Well, the Valkyrie Force is pretty gross there because it's going to turn us into just a 2-2, but at this point we'll just trade with the 2-1, that's fine. My opponent's just had like supreme patience and wait for the Vanished Elf there, that would have been pretty good as well. Okay, so finally we've got things going now. Ephemeral Wisp with the Z initiation is not super exciting here. I think we'll just play the Cultist actually, because then if we draw a power, we're able to turn the Ephemeral Wisp into like an actual thing. Yep. Also, like the 2/4 is like a reasonable body on this board, so. I'd like to do stuff, but right, okay, so that puts the initiation on here. We do actually get to kill something. Just bop this. Then this will be a 3/4, so when it comes back it actually gets to trade. Pretty nice. Would like to draw a power. I'm not above devouring this guy to get there and just get back our killer machine. I thought it was probably good to attack forever. Okay, so they're doing the payer thing to put. Oh, this is gross. Right, well, we've got a 3/4 killer, which is not doing too much right now, actually. So I suppose we do actually just need to banish this. Then sit back on both of these. We'll be able to kill the Valkyrie Force next turn. Okay, so no blocks from me. Okay, well, I think here we just devour this just because it will get huge and be able to kill a Valkyrie Force. Let's go to 4. Yeah, sort of disappointing that we have to do it like the slow way. Let's just shoot this out of the sky. And I just played like the Magenta Wisp as just some fodder that's just going to try and keep us alive for a turn. Because I think that if we get to untap here, then we're in good shape to be able to pretty much survive the game. Okay, so opponent's blocking like this, so we'll just block the 2/2 on the 2/4 and just block like this. We'll make our Wisp a lot bigger, and whoa, invulnerable to damage. Right, so it's got quick draw, invulnerable to damage when you attack, does some things. Well, let's. Actually, that's not going to do too much against Tower 6, but it does have quick draw, so it is a pretty big nuisance that's going to have to be dealt with. And we've actually got the shadow side, which is quite nice. But let's steal this. Yeah, I'm actually going to sit back with the 2 units in case. Well, probably like a removal spell, but it'll just get absolutely destroyed. Just chuck our point for a bit. Draw some cards in. Perhaps this game is going to take a while to actually get to a conclusion. And sadly, no power there. Oh, Inquisitor's Blade. So I'll probably get the kills anyway, which is not really what I wanted. I was sort of concerned about the Inquisitor's Blade, but oh, on to the next game. Okay, and here we have another hand of Wisps, and this, yeah, I think I'll redraw do a little bit better than that. Nice, it's sort of the similar hand, but at least we've got Crest here to try and find a little bit more action. Yeah, get away, see mystery. And though it is quite slow, like Magenta Wisp with Dark Return is probably going to be able to chew up our opponent if they are playing like a beatdown deck. Especially with a little bit of a slow draw if they're starting on a Crest. I was going to play it out. Just get something on the board just in case our opponent's not like a beatdown deck. It's going to be like sort of the free faction Jack deck I've seen floating around. But it can also just slow our opponent down from actually developing. Okay, so this looks like Scream, which is sort of fine because if I won't play something like a Gargant Fanatic, I'm probably just going to Madness it. Because Gargant Fanatic is one of the units that you can Madness that you don't actually need to have a sacrifice outlet to be able to deal with. Well, let's pop this. Get him for 2 and play the old Void Drummer. I actually think the... Okay, so opponent's just using Devastating Setback here. Yeah, let's just play the Void Drummer again. Because then that gives us like a really good draw. If we do find the Radiant, as that'll be able to bring us back like 1 or 2 of these, and that'll actually be a really decent size because of the Void Drummer's attacks. I'm not sure what our opponent's got up here, but I'm just going to try and Madness this unit. This is always like a bit gross when you get to do this. And then we've got the tribute here for the Pathlighter. I'm sort of tempted to Void Drum it up, but yeah, let's just get Void Drummers, just some unblockable dudes. And unfortunately for us, we've not got many ways of getting like the Gargant Fanatic back, but it's not got charge and flying and all sort of nonsense, so it's not the end of the world. Yes, that's pretty nice as well, the Haunting Scream on the Merchant. It gives you just more access to your market, so I suppose that's something that we are going to be exploring with the marketplace. Get both our triggers up, because we have some huge units in the Void. The Pathlighter is just like a 1-off-1 with Deadly here, so it's like some sort of relentless rat or anything like that, but just adding more to the board here, just try and get our opponent dead, because next time we're going to finally play that Xenan Obelisk. And what we're stealing? Really? Prefer you didn't. If our opponent was trying to rely on something like just Devour that and then Combust, I'd just much prefer they didn't. Killing stuff when we've got the sort of the Xenan colours in play, and then we just draw the Soulbringer just because we're just that lucky there. It's not always the best. So I think in this instance, I'm not going to play the Xenan Obelisk just because I do want to get the Soulbringer out. And we can get some 8/8s. Well, I brought us up 5, and we've got a 5/5 unblockable, so let's get that. And then now the Infiltrate trigger means that we're able to play the Soulbringer. So I suppose we'll just get back everything. Yeah, this seems nice. This deck's sweet. Obviously, because it's not fully optimized yet, this is like the day 2 version of the deck. But yeah, that was pretty impressive how grindy it can actually get. Okay, well, just the one power hand, so easy redraw that, but it's not sort of fine. We do need some shadow sources because we do have the Memory Dredger and the Void Drummer. But now I've got Crest in the deck, the power base should be a lot nicer. Okay, so like add Waystone into. Ooh, not a problem that. Okay, and this list, well, this hand I'm sort of suspicious of. But we have 4 power, which is something that we actually need in the deck, and I guess we can get Pathlighter back with Soulbringer, especially if we give it Killer, that's pretty nice. And if you're playing against like a beatdown, that's probably pretty unbeatable, just like deadly killers. Just keep getting back. Sabotage here, pretty rough because we just get to take our Z initiation. But we do have a free cost Soulbringer if anything happens to this little guy. And opponent's threatened to block, that seems like a fine option really. Yeah, that's fine. Just banish your thing so my opponent's not generating war cries. Just bring it back. Then next time if we really need to, we just get to Devour this or hopefully just draw some sort of killer effect so we can get our opponent out of here because they are probably playing stuff like Tavrock, but our draw's been sort of exceptionally anemic here. We're just getting for 1. We do have the Madness combo with Madness Combust, well, Madness Devour here. Our opponent actually plays Tavrock. This is kind of good for us because we can actually make use of the 5 cards that get milled. Because we don't actually have any hits for Tavrock, but just putting 5 things into our yard is just kind of nice. What if we hit? Ephemeral Wisps going off. Cool. Remember the early days of Argenport where that was actually quite good against that deck, just the playing the Grendins deck before they went to the skies. It's a little Crest and so I think yeah, so Void was good. Perhaps shouldn't have paid the power just so that we're able to Void Drummer whilst we have the Ephemeral Wisp, like in the Void. But it'll get there eventually, don't worry about it. Got 2 drops worth getting. Yeah, actually the Nocturnal Creeper is pretty sweet, so let's get a Memory Dredger up. Liver as well is pretty good there. Attack with these 2. So this is an attack trigger, so fortunately it happens before the actual memory dredger, so we do just get this huge boy over here. So I'll just keep playing Voids, because these are good. It's unlikely that our Ephemeral Wisp is ever going to get any Void Drummer triggers at this point, because I think our opponent is locked into sort of clicking the concede button at this point. Yeah, especially with Nightfall and 4 points of unblockable damage, it's going to be pretty difficult for our opponent to come back from that one. Okay, here on the draw, I think this might be fine. If we get like a beatdown deck, then we've just got like loads of tools to sort of start the game out, like the Creeper and the Ephemeral Wisp, so I think I'll actually keep this. Okay, so Crest of Glory, this could be like Primal Icaria. There's also a new 2/2 in Ricano that makes playing Icaria ahead of schedule pretty easy to do. I think we're a little bit Dark Return Flooded without any actual reason for it right now, so I'm just going to bottom that one. Especially until I see what we're against. So if this is like a Primal Sorcerer, then no, but okay, so it looks like it's actually just Ricano. Well, let's get our Nightfall on. I think this deck should probably play the Current of Merchant. Oh, okay. What poster is interesting here. But if you're going to kill my thing, I'm going to get some value off it. Going to make it a nice big boy with a Xenan Cultist. Okay, well, at this point it looks like our opponent is trying to get up to like a harsh rule here, but if they are, then we're going to get our Ephemeral Wisps in play. Because then even if they do get harsh roll damage, there's like some 2/3s which are reasonably okay threats. Especially when they're just unkillable. It's not quite a 4/1 with Overwhelm, but right, let's devour one of these. Okay, so we've got Xenan Obelisk to draw up to. Sea Mystery, I think we'd much prefer not to. Let's go for the easy attack for 2 here. But we can block them. They probably should if they're trying to lead us up to a harsh roll, but let's get these up to be some big boys. Okay, well, now our opponent's tapped out. So I'd really like to kill this, but it won't actually be big enough. Although, attack with the 2/1. So our opponent does here, so they just take the 2. Get to kill this, which becomes a 3/4, which just like, this is just a chump killer attack, like whatever. But now we get to Amber Waystone, which brings it back. So Obelisk, which is now here and there, should have actually played Obelisk last in the first killer attack to be able to kill both of these. So yeah, that's some bad sequencing on our part. But a lot of these plays are sort of new and exciting as I try and figure my way out how to play with these new cards. But these are some interesting interactions I've not really seen before. Well, our opponent actually has the harsh roll here, then they've got like millions of card draw off it. Yeah. So it didn't actually matter what we did in that turn, because our opponent was just going to reset the board, but you're still better off taking your time, although sometimes when you're trying to talk through plays, it's not quite as easy to do. I will actually just pull out the Nocturnal Creeper, just because this is more likely to be able to help us draw a power here. Because with the Nightfall, we'll get to draw a second card now next turn. I've also already got millions of cards in hand, so it doesn't really matter. We do have a pretty good answer to Icaria because we do have the Killer Wisps. And I suppose these games are just going to be slow and grind it and just absolutely take forever. Like, we've done 2 games and we're at 25 minutes. Ugh. So maybe this isn't the best deck for ladder play, although I'm having a bit of fun just trying to discover what this tribe can actually do. I think also, yeah, just going to Devour here. Just keep drawing cards, because Devour doesn't do much if you don't have like things in play. I saw it could have been good. Yeah, so fine. Our opponent's got a 3/6 weapon, but it's not going to do too much. I suppose just get our threats back. Playing Obelisk, and these are just going to be like absolute absurd. So perhaps our opponent gets to, if we do this killer here, which doesn't really matter, our opponent gets to play in a carry, we don't get to kill it, so I think we just don't use killer here. Because whilst this is in play, our opponent needs to answer it before they can ever play in a carry, otherwise it's just like deal 5, get 5 Warcry, but that's fine, it's quite expensive what they've done. And they're able to kill it, but we also get to keep our Wisp, and even if we didn't, we're still able to just buy it back later. We've got the Soulbringer as sort of like a hacked together way of getting it back. Sort of like a dirty hack when we could just drop power and get. But also with 2 Obelisks in play, we've got under quite a lot of pressure here with units that don't actually cost us cards anymore. Okay, well, I'm probably just going to deal with the 5/5 here. And yeah, that's fine. I mean, of course, this is like a torch as well, but it was just sort of interesting when there wasn't also a torch. I suppose our opponent's just really using their armor resource like as a second life total, but Nocturnal Creeper's fine here. Just keep the cards flowing. I should have perhaps Magenta Wisp just to kill the Recanoites and just keep pushing damage. So we don't get to quite kill this, but I think we'll actually banish the weapon here. So I've course already used their first attack, they've not got enough power to play a die show. Okay, so we'll just have 2 killer Wisps, that's going to be pretty sweet here. So bosh this. Of course I'm just like never playing this power until these 2 get dealt with. Get in there for 13, and I'll put us in like a lot of trouble here. I suppose they can hit a 10-10 carrier, but they're still not going to do too much of a job here. Yeah, opponent is going to be unable to get from underneath that lock. Okay, here are the draw, and this is sort of nice. We can't actually Magenta Wisp into Xenan Cultist very efficiently, but when we do, we get to make it huge. So I suppose we'll keep it, especially just on the strength of these Crest of Mystery. So I've really enjoyed having like the full suite of crests now. It's just so much nicer. Make deck building a lot more interesting because you're going to be able to just have much more smoother games, and you'll be able to play like 3 factions a lot easier. But they do also still have the drawback of being actually depleted, and as nice as the Scout is, if you're against a lot of aggressive decks, the Scout can really just slow you down and just keep you off tempo. So, didn't pay attention here, perhaps our opponent is still paying attention to their... Yeah, okay, so I thought they were still making the mulligan, but perhaps they've got a bunch of different powers they could play. Just deciding from there, so... Crest of Mystery here, we'll just like bomb any power. Xenan Cultist is an engine piece, let's keep it. Redundant one, but give something +4/+4 is kind of spicy. Well, for the most part, it's just if the first one's dealt with, then we've still got one anyway. Okay, well, we're on the draw, so we can't quite bosh this off with one of our Magenta Wisps. Well, play it anyway. I've seen a little bit of a Legion popping around recently. Not sure what Legion actually got from the new set. I think they got a 0/4 dinosaur that becomes a 4/4. It's probably sort of interesting. Okay, so if our opponent didn't have a play, then I'm just going to attack for 2 here. We can Storm Lynxed. Like, there's something happening to us here. But otherwise, I'm just going to also just play the backup Magenta Wisp, I guess. Okay, well, let's bop that. Yeah, if our opponent didn't have anything at 3 then, they're probably going to have something at 4, so let's just try and slow them down a bit. Well, we've got Magenta Wisp for days, so we're not scared. So our opponent could be just like big fat men's, so a deadly unit's probably quite nice actually. I'm just very comfortably playing a bunch of understated units. But we do get to live the dream here. Just kill this. Trigger our tribute. Get him for 4. And then we get to make the tribute Pathlighter just a 3/3 deadly. This tribute effect's pretty nice as well because if you like dark return this, the tribute can happen again if you trigger it. Yeah, probably just bad enough. So we didn't get to see too much gameplay, but I suppose they were just stuck on 3 power. Okay, well, here again on the draw, and this hand is Stone Keeper, just 1 power, bunch of 3 drops. No thanks. Not sure what the line actually is on keeping like a 1 power hand in this game. Oh, fine, so this could be interesting. Hopefully they're still playing targets for our Magenta Wisp, so they've got like Bloodcaster or something. Banish, probably not going to need against Foul. This could be Foul Scream, that could be wrong. But we do also have the Magenta Wisp here to be able to pick up anything that's a little bit too nonsense. Okay, so this is actually Scream. So the Banish would have been good as like a way of dealing with Rundra. But Killer's great here. Killer is going to help us be able to deal with our opponent's threats. And the Killer effect is just going to keep happening as well because we do have ways in this deck to be able to just generate our threats to come back from our yard. So I'm just going to lead with the Nocturnal Creeper. We'll try to just like play the Magenta Wisp as more of a surprise. So if our opponent plays like a Goblin for that care, if we don't draw a Madness to just gobble it up, then I'm more than happy just to Magenta Wisp it. And here we go, here's another great target for the Magenta Wisp. So Colour looks like a pretty sweet card as well. I'm excited to play with this. Not sure if it's good enough for foul control, but you probably just don't. Okay, so I'm actually just going to boop this. Keep getting in there for damage. I've still got like 2 backup Z initiations, which is going to be pretty nice. There's no really good Z initiation for us there. Okay, well, Deadly Unit's good. I think maybe this Countdown Merchant is probably good in this deck. Just not sure what to get right yet. It would be nice just having like free access to cards like Banish though. Yeah, let's just get back our dude. This interaction's sweet. Just a big fan of this card. We are a little bit killer flooded, but at least this Nocturnal Creeper's here. Oh, not for long. So that Harriman was pretty vicious there. But Soulbringer here just bring us back the Nocturnal Creeper. Let's finally make something out of this. So I'll probably just have like a torch here, I think, or some sort of fast effect. Yeah, this is going to blow us out. But that's sort of fine. It's sort of like a 1-for-1 there. Oh, 2 torches, yeah. So that's pretty good. Unfortunately, if we draw anything, we should be able to deal with this. Oh. Berserk, Lifesteal, Quick Draw. This is going to be hard to come back from. Not sure what Gift of Battle. Quite like the 2-2 that has the same effect, but like Inspire cards you draw get Berserk. Really good with Dark Return. What? Let's just try and do the same trick again. If they have the third torch, this is going to suck, but we've already seen 2, so if that's where it is, that's where it is. If this is just a Devour, then I'm more than fine with that, because I'll get to keep our 3-2. Just to find what our opponent is. Okay, so Devastating Setback, give our units -2/-2. Sort of fine. Hornet Scream, well, this is gross, because they're going to get to Vicious Highwayman to kill our 2-1. Give them Lifesteal, and they're just going to get to 8 us here, because they get to Berserk again. And we're going to go 1 from the Nightfall, so we're dead to like any Renderer. Yeah, this deck we're playing against is pretty sweet. So I suppose it's Soulbringer and not bring back the Nightfall Wisp. If our opponent does too much, then we're able to go up to 3 lives if our opponent does play like a Renderer here. But now they're able to get back. Wow, again, the Vicious Highwayman Flying Berserk, they're just going to get to 1,000,000 TLs. Yeah, this is sweet. I'm going to scoop up and go to the next game though. Well, show him his business. Yeah. Kill him the old-fashioned way, just deal 10 to us. Okay, here we are, and I think this is probably going to be the last one. I'm not sure how many games we've done, but we're looking at 40 minutes now, which is actually quite a lot of time. But this is a... I should say a keep, because we get to Crest plus Nightfall. Yeah, I'll keep this. This hand seems fine. If we get to find like our power with the Crest, that's sort of cool. Even if it's depleted, yeah, so it's not. It's even better. We get to just play a Creeper into the Drummer, just to have a bunch of evasive threats, because Deadly is sort of like a pseudo evasion in which it's very difficult to block because your opponent doesn't want to just always trade cards. First one's good there because it stops us getting for 2, but oh boy, we are flooded with these dudes. But I'm just going to get down the Void Drummer here. Actually, these are pretty sweet. So, phone caller, just mute that for the moment. Right, so nothing died, so we're just going to play out our Nocturnal Creepers there. We do lose at Nightfall, but I'm sort of fine, I just want to get on the board. And if everyone does deal with like our stuff, that's sort of fine because we get to Soulbringer it back. And we've got a 4/3 Nocturnal Creeper in the bin, so when the stats start to get really big as well, it gets really difficult for your opponent to be able to actually effectively block one of these. This is cool. Our opponent probably doesn't want to trade here because they probably value their Beckoning Lumen. But even if they do, this is sort of actually fine, yeah. I'm going to throw away the first Soulbringer just to get back a 6/5. So they'll fall on mute for a minute. Yeah, this deck here is really good when it gets going. Not sure how many pieces it's actually missing. Okay, so we've got a Z initiation here just to try and deal with something. That's fine. Opponent gets to gain some lives and draw a card. If drew a kill effect, that would be in absolutely absurd shape. But I'm just gonna chunk in with like the world. My opponent wants to make like some easy blocks here. That's actually fine because then we just get to bring it back with the tribute of Soulbringer. Yeah, it's going to be incredibly difficult for our opponents to grind us out here. They've got a 4/4 lifesteal with killer if they're able to recur that some way. But if we're just able to go wide enough here that it's just going to be too much of an issue. I think I'd perhaps prefer to hold on to the Devour for if we find a madness, but I will use it just to counter our removal spell. Yeah, this is fine. Would like a way of dealing with the iron though, just so that our opponent's catcher doesn't do anything. Okay, well this is actually pretty good because we get to madness this. Yeah, our opponent is pretty dead there. But I'm not sure whether that was 5 games or not, but I'm going to call it a day there because these games have taken some time just for the sake of keeping the video in like a reasonable chunk to sort of consume. Okay, so that was the Wisps deck, and by all means not the completed version. There's a long way to go with this, and I'm sure that people will tune this and turn it into a bit of a machine, and maybe it is just a meme and it's able to capitalise on people not really knowing what the new cards do yet. But I'm really interested in this deck. Void Drummer is quite impressive because you can just turn it into a big unblockable boy because we've got like the Xenan Cultist and other ways just to make it bigger. And the effect is actually an attack effect, so it has got a little bit of synergy with the Twilight Hunt and the Xenan Initiation. I think this deck does need a merchant though, just to be able to grab some of the more important pieces. So a merchant that could grab us like Madness or Banish would be pretty sweet, as well as some of the other pieces of the deck. Maybe just being able to get a Soulbringer on demand would be pretty nice too. Although other than that, I think the deck's sweet. It's in a nice place, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people can actually do with it. So I've been the results. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.